Did you know that wild boars are wreaking havoc on agriculture, causing damage that is worth more than $1.5 billion annually? What happens, however, when these wild intruders are not merely a problem, but rather become the goal of an all-out extermination campaign? Join us as we delve into the high-stakes world of wild boar hunting, where American farmers are combating millions of these elusive critters with high-tech traps, strategic hunts, and even helicopters. Join us as we explore this world. What an exciting look at how farmers are fighting back, as well as what the future holds for wild boar populations. This is not something you should miss. The prevalence of wild boars in the United States has become a significant issue, particularly for farmers, despite the fact that they have the appearance of being tough woods creatures. Agricultural damage caused by these invading animals is estimated to be worth approximately $1.5 billion annually. These animals are responsible for destroying crops, eating food that was intended for cattle, and causing damage to fencing and irrigation systems. More and more farmers are resorting to trapping as a means of retaliating against the ever-increasing danger posed by wild boars. In order to safeguard crops, bring nature back into balance, and even turn a problem into a profit, it is a mission that requires strategic planning and high stakes. Tracking for minor indicators, such as hoof prints pushed into soft soil, which are frequently concealed deep within woodlands, is the first step in the journey. Once the farmers have identified the appropriate location, they will set up specialized cage traps. In order to check traps, farmers frequently travel late into the night. On the other hand, when they do manage to catch one, it is not only beneficial to their company, but also to the protection of their land. The meat of farmed wild boars is in high demand and commands a higher price than the meat of wild boars that are raised in their natural habitat. Wild boar farming is becoming an increasingly profitable and environmentally advantageous option across the United States. This is due to the implementation of models such as free-range forest farming and integrated agriculture pig systems, respectively. Farmers rely on more than simply luck in order to successfully capture wild boars. In order to efficiently capture these intelligent and dangerous animals, they make use of crafty traps that have been carefully developed and constructed. One of the most common kinds is the drop-gate cage trap, which is commonly used. It is a durable metal enclosure that is baited with attractive items such as fermented maize, sweet potatoes, acorns, or even grains that have been soaked in molasses. The robust odor of the bait is something that wild boars are unable to resist. The gate is slammed shut behind the boars as soon as they walk on the pressure plate that is positioned on the floor inside the enclosure. Using corral traps is the method of choice for dealing with larger groupings. These enclosures are much larger, circular or semicircular in shape, and they are constructed out of sturdy panels and fence. They are typically baited over the course of several days in order to make the entire sounder feel comfortable inside. Immediately after the majority of the group is entered, the gate can be dropped manually or remotely, so enclosing all of them at the same time. Trail cameras or remote monitoring systems are frequently installed in these traps, which enables farmers to check for activity without disturbing the location where the traps are currently located. In regions where wild boar populations are particularly out of control, certain farmers and wildlife managers resort to the use of scoped rifles for precision shooting as a means of controlling the wild boar population. Taking this strategy calls for a high level of expertise, patience, and a steadfast commitment to safety and local standards. Nighttime is the peak hour for wild boar activity, providing it an ideal window of opportunity for hunters to take action. Other than early dawn, this is the busiest hour. As a result of the fact that these creatures are more likely to roam freely while cover of darkness is present, skilled hunters frequently go out after sunset. By utilizing cutting-edge technology such as thermal scopes and night vision equipment, they are able to locate and follow the boars in a stealthy manner from a distance, without causing any disruption to the surrounding environment. Nighttime hunting is not only effective but also vital, particularly in areas where wild boars inflict significant damage to crops. This high-tech and stealthy method makes nighttime hunting particularly effective. Hunting wild boars from a helicopter has become an intense and surprisingly effective activity in certain regions of the United States, particularly in states such as Texas. The procedure normally involves a professional pilot flying low and fast over broad swaths of farmland or forest, while a trained marksman uses a semi-automatic rifle to take aim at the hogs from the open door of the helicopter. The hogs are then shot down. It is essential for the pilot and the shooter to communicate with one another. In the effort to manage and control wild boar populations, aerial and ground teams often work in close coordination to ensure both the effectiveness and safety of the operation. Teams cooperate to locate, monitor, and approach the animals in a timely and strategic manner, with an emphasis on minimizing unnecessary stress or danger to both wildlife and humans involved. Helicopters are commonly equipped with advanced communication tools such as radios and GPS navigation systems, allowing for real-time updates and seamless coordination with ground personnel stationed across the terrain. These systems are vital for guiding the aircraft to targeted areas and maintaining contact during dynamic tracking operations. Prior to any flight, extensive groundwork is carried out to identify hotspots of wild boar activity. Trail cameras are strategically placed throughout the landscape to monitor movements over several days, while thermal imaging drones fly overhead to detect warm bodies in thick vegetation or during night hours when hogs are most active. Ground scouting teams contribute by surveying terrain conditions and logging signs of recent activity such as rooting, wallows, or damage to crops and fences. All of this information is compiled and analyzed to determine flight paths and intervention zones, maximizing the chances of successful outcomes while conserving resources. This method of population control, though considered controversial by some animal welfare advocates, is widely viewed by many farmers, landowners, and conservationists as a necessary tool in the ongoing struggle to contain the spread of wild boars. Known for their extraordinary reproductive capacity and aggressive foraging behavior, wild boars can cause significant ecological and economic damage in a short amount of time. From destroying crops and native vegetation to spreading disease and competing with local wildlife, unchecked boar populations pose a serious challenge to land management and biodiversity. While these management practices are often focused on reducing numbers, there is also growing interest in the culinary value of wild boar meat. Unlike conventional pork, wild boar offers a distinctive eating experience. The meat is leaner, with a tighter texture and a flavor profile that is rich, slightly gamey, and unmistakably wild. Because these animals are allowed to roam freely and forage naturally, their diet, comprising roots, nuts, fruits, and small animals, contributes to the development of a firm, dark meat with a deep, earthy character. It is particularly prized in gourmet kitchens and traditional cuisines for its bold taste and nutritional benefits, being lower in fat and higher in protein, iron, and essential vitamins compared to standard pork. As a result, wild boar meat is not only a product of necessity, but also one of growing culinary appreciation in both domestic and international markets. When it comes to preparing wild boar, grilling or roasting are two of the most common methods. These cooking techniques bring out the meat's rich taste and ensure that it retains its juicy texture. That being said, would you be interested in trying wild boar meat for yourself?